On February 23, 2025, officers with the Albuquerque Police Department responded to a domestic violence call on Mountain Road Northeast. At that moment, they had no idea what was about to unfold. For them, this was another welfare check, another call where emotions might run high, but where the outcome would hopefully remain routine. What they did not know was that within minutes, the situation would escalate into a fatal encounter. The officers approached the front door and knocked. 48-year-old Benjamin Raymond answered in a relatively calm manner. Nothing about his initial behavior suggested what was coming. One of the officers asked if he could speak with Raymond's partner, while another entered the home to talk with his wife.
Benjamin. Hey, Benjamin. He's staying at the store. Should we go in?
She had been the one who called for help. She told dispatch that Raymond had assaulted her the day before. That report was the reason police were now standing in her living room.
Good afternoon. Name's Officer Washington, Police Department.
I'm coming in to pack. Come on. Watch out, baby. Come on.
Inside, everything started off quiet. The woman appeared shaken but cooperative. She explained how she had been abused the previous day. She showed officers her bruises. She told them she had locked herself in a bedroom for protection, fearing what might happen if she stayed near him any longer.
I had to come through the doggy door and I've been trying to get my stuff and he's yelling at me. He's telling me to hurry and he's going through my stuff.
Okay. Do you have an idea on you? So what happened today?
But today I was trying to grab my stuff and he's going through my stuff and taking stuff out and throwing my stuff outside and yelling at me and telling me to hurry, and he's forcefully trying to drag me out of the house. He's throwing me on the floor and I had to run in the room and lock myself in the room because I didn't know what he was going to do. He keeps manhandling me, just throwing me around.
From the officer's perspective, this was consistent with a typical domestic violence investigation. They were gathering statements, assessing injuries, trying to piece together what had happened.
Your name is Victoria?
Yeah.
Raymond?
Yeah.
Date of birth? What's your social? Now he's going to be going to jail for battery against a household member, domestic violence. Let me get him squared away, and I will be back with the domestic violence back in to talk to you. I just don't like him out there with my partner by himself.
I'm scared he's going to retaliate on me.
Okay.
Outside, Raymond was still talking casually with the other officer. He didn't appear tense. He didn't appear angry. He certainly didn't appear desperate. If anything, he seemed slightly irritated, but otherwise composed, as though he expected the situation to end with a conversation and nothing more. But in only a few minutes, his life would be over. The tone shifted quickly once the officers inside determined they had probable cause to arrest Raymond for domestic violence. At that point, the decision had been made. He was going into custody. Officers moved to detain him. Raymond suddenly turned and ran. He only managed a few steps before officers caught up with him and tackled him to the ground. What happened next was fast, chaotic, and deeply unpredictable. A struggle broke out that lasted around 2 minutes. Officers tried to hold Raymond down while giving repeated commands, but he continued to fight, twisting his body, refusing to present his hands, and pushing against the officers trying to restrain him. Then the situation escalated instantly. During the struggle, officers realized that Raymond had a handgun. They attempted to pin the weapon to the ground, trying to keep it out of his control, but Raymond rolled onto his back, bringing the gun upward.
Raymond, let go! That's my finger.
Shoot me.
That's your finger?
Hey, please shoot me.
Raymond, let go!
Shoot me.
Shoot
Shoot me!
Raymond!
Kill me! Kill me!
Come on, Raymond!
Kill me!
Raymond!
Please! Please, please don't make me, guys. Hey, officer.
Raymond,
please
let
don't.
go of the gun.
If you make me out
right.
here, I don't want to do
Let
this.
go of the gun.
I don't want to do this.
Raymond.
I don't want to do this. Okay. All right then. If that's what you're doing, I'm doing
Raymond,
it.
let
Then.
go of the gun.
No. Okay. That's it. All right, you're gonna do it. My finger's on the trigger.
All right, let go of the gun.
Let go of my arm. Let
go.
go of my arm.
Let go.
And I will not shoot. Let go of my
Let
arm.
go.
Let go of my arm. 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 And I won't shoot. Okay.
At one point, he pointed the weapon toward the officer who had deployed a taser. In that moment, the officers faced a direct and immediate threat to their lives. They fired. Additional officers rushed in, secured the firearm, and called for medical assistance. But despite their efforts, Raymond was pronounced dead at the scene.
Shots fired. 31st to 10-4.
To understand the full context of this encounter, it's important to understand who Benjamin Raymond was. For more than 20 years, he had been known as a violent member of the Aryan Brotherhood in New Mexico. His criminal background stretched back to the early 2000s, when he participated in a conspiracy to murder a man named John Mutersbach. Federal prosecutors said the motive was twofold: to gain status inside the Aryan Brotherhood and to silence a potential witness connected to another killing.
Right here at Grayson Mountain. Walk on traffic.
Is there anybody else outstanding?
In 2003, Raymond was convicted of being a felon in possession of a firearm and was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison. Then, in 2011, while still incarcerated, he received an additional 150-month sentence for his role in the earlier gang-related conspiracy.
Let's try to.
10-5-2. Unit and come to Body and Mountain, and I need the intersection blocked off.
Those two sentences were originally supposed to be served back-to-back, which would have kept him locked up well into the early 2030s. But Raymond won part of an appeal, and the way his sentence was calculated changed. With good conduct credits and federal sentencing reforms, he was released in 2021, after nearly 18 years behind bars. Less than 4 years later, he once again found himself armed during a confrontation with police.
Yeah, right there. Let me go.
10-5-2. We can have 4355 come to Mountain and Body.
Domestic violence calls are among the most unpredictable and dangerous encounters officers face. This case shows how quickly a situation that appears calm can turn into a life-threatening struggle. In the end, the presence of the gun, the attempt to gain control of it, and the threat directed toward officers form the basis for the use of deadly force.
That's right. You just stay over with your car and block off over there. Make sure no foot traffic comes in. We're good.
So we got one here.
As of the most recent information available, the case remains under standard multi-agency review, including examination by the district attorney's office. Investigators are focusing on the sequence of events during the struggle, the recovery of the weapon, and the threat assessment made by officers in those critical moments.
I think we did. I don't know.
I think
10-5-2. You can let 4355 when they come to Mountain.
The death of Benjamin Raymond marks the end of a long and violent criminal history that began more than 2 decades earlier. It raises difficult questions about re-entry, domestic abuse, and the dangerous dynamics officers face when responding to high-risk situations involving individuals with extensive criminal backgrounds.
It's not bleeding much, though. I mean, we could tourniquet it, but it's not doing anything.
Although the officers responding that day had limited information, a deeper look into Raymond's past reveals a long and well-documented association with the Aryan Brotherhood. The group is considered one of the most violent prison gangs in the United States, tied to extortion, drug trafficking, and a history of orchestrated attacks both inside and outside correctional facilities. Federal prosecutors had previously identified Raymond as someone who carried out acts of violence at the direction of the gang, including participation in a conspiracy to murder a potential witness in the early 2000s. Raymond's affiliation wasn't just historical, it was part of his identity for years. In the uncensored body-worn camera footage from the incident, a large swastika tattoo on his upper back becomes briefly visible. The symbol is commonly associated with white supremacist ideology and is frequently seen among Aryan Brotherhood members. While the tattoo played no direct role in the confrontation itself, it reinforces the gang ties described in federal court documents and provides additional context about Raymond's background and worldview. This connection to extremist ideology, combined with a long criminal record that included violent offenses and multiple federal firearm convictions, helps illustrate why encounters involving individuals with similar histories can escalate quickly. Although the responding officers could not have predicted the exact outcome, Raymond's past involvement in organized violence and his continued possession of a firearm after a lengthy prison sentence reflect a pattern of behavior that contributed to the volatility of the moment. His actions during the struggle, rather than his affiliations, ultimately determined the officer's response, but his history helps explain the broader forces that shaped the events leading up to that day. The death of Benjamin Raymond marks the end of a long and violent criminal history that began more than 2 decades earlier. It raises difficult questions about re-entry, domestic abuse, and the dangerous dynamics officers face when responding to high-risk situations involving individuals with extensive criminal backgrounds. This is the known and verified account of what happened on February 23, 2025, when a domestic violence call in Albuquerque escalated into a fatal struggle that lasted only minutes, but was shaped by a lifetime of violence before it.